Here comes a duck, top of the board, pure skill, not love. Knows every ridge, every rock, every line. While you're still loading, he's taking your spine. Map knowledge deep like an ancient scroll. Reads the terrain like it's part of his soul.
Hello, Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. And today I've got two replays to show you in the Tier 8 German premium tank destroyer, the Panzerknacker Auto. And that is because this is the level 100 season pass reward tank, which you can earn by free by completing the new season, which comes out Tuesday next week. So I've got two replays to show you off the tank you can potentially be earning. So what is this tank? Well, it's a German tank destroyer, and if you've ever played the J-Panther, it's essentially a free-shot autoloader version of that. So you've got 280 alpha per shot with a free-shot clip, and you've got a pretty decent reload, about 15 seconds reload for your 280 alpha rounds. So it's actually quite a decent little tank destroyer, and I've quite enjoyed playing it. You've got pretty, really decent DPM, to be fair, for a Tier 8 TD. And you've also got some pretty okay camo. I think I've got my concealment down to about 300 in the build I'm running, which you'll be able to see at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But for the first replay we've got to show you off here, we are here on Liberty Falls, and it is the Encounter variant, and we are, of course, top tier. Now, I am going to play very, very aggressively in this first replay, as you're going to see. And I'm going to try and take the middle ground, which basically means I can spot the entirety of the base for a friendly team. Knowing that we are top tier, I'm going to take this, sort of educated gamble. It is a very risky position to play. I don't like to play it from the other side, but from this side there is positions you can try and get yourself safe, and you've got, it's risk to reward basically, because I'm going to get myself into a position to spot the enemy team and pick up some early assistance. And it's worked out so far for me. I picked up 2,000 assistance by coming to this position already. Now, I've got to be careful because, as I say, there's a lot of tanks which can potentially shoot me, and also the enemy artillery. Now, I'm not going to dump my clip into this enemy tank destroyer just yet. I'm just waiting for him to start to lose some hit points, and now I'm going to shoot him because I can finish him off. I didn't want to run the risk of getting detected. I am running the flash hider perk equipment slot, which means it's going to reduce my chance to get spotted when I fire, and it can be quite helpful in this tank. But off to a great start now with over 2,500 odd assistance with 2 shots of damage of our own. Plenty of hit points left remaining, but I'm going to try and push forward and knock down a couple of these trees to give me a bit of boost of concealment value, while again trying to extend my view range and keep these tanks targeted. So, I might pick up some assistance from my assistants or my friendly tanks which are covering me here. We've got this enemy CS, which I should be able to finish off here to confirm my first kill of the game. And we do, picking this up 1,000 damage now with 3,300 assistance. And we have taken a strong lead in this game now, where we are 4 tanks up and the hit points are in our favour. We see this enemy Tiger 2 again, which we might be able to get a shot in there through the destructible cover. And we do. Can we get a third one in? Yes, we can. We pick up another 3 shots, and you can see you can get off your shells very quickly with this, this gun base. So you've got a 2.4 second interclip, and you can dump those shells pretty quickly indeed. So again, rinse and repeat. I'm just spotting, looking for shots of damage here. There's no real sense of need for me to move because I am sort of in a strong position where I can get shots at multiple angles. And the fact that I am, detecting these targets for my team, and so far I'm picking up the damage and picking up the assistance. That puts me on to about 2,000 damage with our second kill of the game. And this game is starting to come to that end phase where it looks like we're definitely going to get the win, but we just want to make sure we don't want to do anything silly, because sometimes crazy things have happened. You can be up like this and you end up losing. So I'm waiting for this IS-3 to poke to allow us to get a shot into him. We do, and then he ducks back into cover, and we go on reload. And we realise there's an enemy heavy tank which is pushing to the low ground there, which we might be able to sneak over and dump another clip in, see if we can get another shot, clip worth of damage into this tank. We should have a shot at his drive wheel. Unfortunately, we bounce that one. We adjust our aim. He does get delit, but we put fire again anyway because we know we tracked him in place, and that puts us closer to 3,000 damage now with 5 enemy tanks remaining. And I'm going to look to try and cover my friendly heavy tank who's getting pushed. I'm almost off reload, and I should be able to get some shots into this IS-3, who is using a wreck to make it a little bit difficult for me to get the shots in. But I find a way to pick up the kill shot there, confirm our 3rd kill of the game. And now I want to try and move in to see if we can get some shots onto this enemy medium tank who's pushing behind our friendly heavy tank here. So I need to get in pretty quickly, and I'm thinking, right, I reckon he's going to, continue this path basically of circling. So I'm going to push straight across the bridge, see if I can cut him off here. It is the last tank remaining. We're not going to throw this game away here. I think it's very unlikely that this one enemy medium's going to kill all 13 tanks. I'm just looking to try and pick up another kill if we can, and a little bit more potential damage. He is a one-shot to us now. Can we squeeze in the kill? Yes, we can. We snapshot that for the final kill. And that brings us then to replay number 1, but we've got one more replay to come. So let's see how we got on with this one. 4 kills, 3,000 odd damage, 4,000 assistance, confirming the ace tanker. It was a short 4-minute replay, but we managed to get a lot done in that 4 minutes. So let's move on to the second and final replay of the video. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 on Pell River Standard Battle. Now, we do have 2 enemy light tanks to contend with and 1 enemy artillery, but we are in top tier matchmaking. So initially we're going to go and play, I guess, the traditional tank destroyer spot on this map and go and hang around in the sort of J sort of 4-5 ridge area and just see if we can get any initial damage, or if anything gets caught out. Spotting our friendly light tanks playing very aggressively, so there's a good chance he actually might spot the ridge for us. He does actually do that, and he actually spots a few targets. We're going to try and get a shot into that enemy in the Panzer. Unfortunately, we missed our first shot, but we was able to get 2 of our remaining shells into that enemy Tiger, putting us on to about 570 odd damage. So we're off to off the board with a bit of damage. It's always a good start to the game. Enemy Panzer does lose his spot, but we think he's still there. We put a shot in, we track him in place blind, and we pick up our first kill of the game, putting us on to 1,000 damage. Giving us, it's a decent start to the game. It is still even, 14 versus 14. And I'm just having a little look at the mini-map here on the right-hand side to try and work out where the enemy tanks are located. We do get spotted from the middle of the map. It is an enemy light tank, so we pull back so we can try and lose our spot, and then we'll see if we got any angles to get a shot into these light tanks as they poke. But from where we are now, we don't really have many shots unless he crosses that tiny little gap there. We might get a shot, but I've got to be careful when I poke up on that ridge, because unfortunately we might then get detected and shot by any of the camping tanks. Now, looking at the mini-map, it kind of feels like we're losing the middle ground. So I thought, right, you know what? I'm going to see if I can go over there and help my tanks, see if we can win that area. But as I make my approach, unfortunately, 2 of my tanks do get taken out. And I'm not going to be able to win that fight there against the Mantis and that enemy Tiger Shark with all those other tanks there as well. It's just not going to end well for me. So I've decided I might actually need to play a more traditional role here, and I'm actually going to go back to where my base location is and kind of try and wait for those tanks to push and then try and get the shots into them. As I am spotted and artillery is trying to shoot me here, which is a theme for a lot of this game, but I'm kind of thinking at the moment that I'm a little bit concerned that we've lost that middle ground, but I can't push it. I have to, I'm in a tank destroyer. I'm going to be a little bit passive and patient in this one, because this game's kind of not looking fantastic for us at the moment on the scoreboards. The enemy team do now have a 4 tanks advantage, and most of our tanks are all centered in one grid square in the sort of J2-3 area. We've got 2 tanks pushing down the heavy flank. They have won that flank, but quite often I find that when they win that flank, if you keep pushing, you end up getting taken out because there's too many tanks. Especially when the enemy team have the middle, they'll be able to farm the tanks at the sort of B5, 6 area as they push. So I think the best thing to do is wait, because I feel like those tanks are going to get taken out if they continue that path. Maybe eventually the enemy team will push us in the base and I'll be able to get the shots in. I opt to try and get rid of this destructible cover here though, of this wreck, because it's just going to give us some better shots later on in the game and make it easier for us to hit those shots when those tanks poke here. But as you can see, we've dropped down now to 8 versus 12. Enemy team, do have the lead, and that it kind of gets a little bit worse here going through. And unfortunately, we get ourselves in a situation where we're definitely outnumbered. But it kind of shows that when you just dig in, you can still make things happen. So at the moment, not an amazing game. Only 1,000 damage, 1 kill. But there is lots of damage available to us yet. So I'm waiting here because I know there was an enemy heavy tank. And I'm kind of thinking eventually he might poke in this sort of F6 ridge. And then I'll be able to get the shot in because, as these tanks get taken out, they're going to have to push us. I can't make the rest of my team push out, and I'm not in the tank. I'm not in the tank to make those aggressive pushes. I am in a turretless tank destroyer. So here is one of the light tanks. What was last seen in the middle location has now been spotted moving in, and I'm trying to get into a position to cover them. If they do poke through this gap here, as you can see, I will have shots. Our Ragnarok kills the enemy Mantis, which is good because it's a very dangerous tank, especially late onto the games. And I am able to finish the kill shot in the enemy light tank, which does make our life easier. And it puts us in a better situation. It's still 6 versus 9 right now, so it is pretty close, I guess, at this point, but it does start to go downhill fast. Here's the enemy heavy tank I was talking about earlier. I was just waiting to see if he's going to poke, see if I can get those shots in. And then I'll be able to hopefully dump my clip into him. If not, I might be able to get some shots into this enemy tank destroyer here. Enemy charioteer does get put onto... enemy tank destroyer here does get put onto a potential one-shot. We put his shot in, and we're actually able to switch now and kill the other enemy Panzerknacker, which is a very dangerous tank, picking up our 3rd kill of the game. Put us on the 3,000 damage, and now in a 4 versus 8. So the enemy team does have double the tank advantage. Enemy J Panther there, if he continues to poke, we might be able to dunk the clip and actually kill him in 1 clip there. We're on 3,000 damage. Here is the enemy heavy tank who is full health. We put 1 shot in, hoping he reverses back so we can squeeze another shell in. But then this J Panther 2 appears. We do opt to try and get that shell into that heavy tank. Unfortunately, we bounce. But as he pushes forward, at least we get our 2nd one in, which puts him into a clippable tank again. And we're now in a 3 versus 7 on, just shy of 3,000 damage with 3 kills. So we are definitely up against it. The enemy team do have the artillery as well, which can shoot us. So we're going to have to use this building to protect us. Thankfully, we was able to kill the charioteer though before we killed our friendly artillery, which is certainly going to help us. But yeah, 2 versus 5. Yeah, it's not looking great. But we do damage the Armour rack on the J Panther 2, so that is going to slow his DPM down. He puts 1 shot into us, but we're using this building to protect us. He is a clippable tank. Hopefully we can try and finish him off for our 5th kill. We need to confirm kills in a situation like this and just get those tanks down as fast as we possibly can. So I'm now in a 2 versus 5 with the artillery. We eat 1 shot of this J Panther 2 here. We're expecting to eat another one, but he actually bounces, which is good because we need those hit points, and we take him out for our 5th kill of the game, I believe. There's a 1-shot tiger below. Artillery is still trying to shoot us, and we're also getting pushed. But I think it's this tiger here, which we're going to decide we're just going to have to go in and get rid of, because otherwise we're going to get stuck up on, and this guy's just going to come behind us. So we're just opting just to go and kill him and hope for the best, really. Thankfully, the enemy heavy tank comes round, and we're able to finish him off, putting us on to, 7 kills now, just shy of 5,000 damage. And we brought this game back from a losable position into a very winnable position. I've got to be careful because I'm only on 500 hit points. I lose my spot and I'm trying to move out of here because, as you can see, that enemy artillery, the enemy fun police is putting those shells in, and if I get detected in the open like this, he's just going to land easy shots. So I need to get out of there and I need to get back into cover. So I'm going to try and escape from this enemy heavy tank, which is a heavy tank which I can outspot. It's one of the new tier 7 French heavy tanks. And we're going to be able to outspot him. He is looking like on the scoreboard, he's probably pretty healthy because it's 12% hit points versus 3. I imagine he's probably got all of his hit points left at this point, and he does have, the very vast majority of them. So he can probably take more than 1 clip to kill him, unless we get very lucky. We put a shot into him, damages his ammo rack, put a 2nd shot in, unfortunately bounce. The artillery does land a splash damage though, and now we put him onto a 1-shot, and we're on 7 kills here, 5,300 damage. If we can just kill this heavy tank, we can then go and take care of the enemy artillery. So we're looking for the kill shot. Now, I must admit, I haven't played much against this tank. I was assuming I could pen that little gun there. I obviously can't. I should have gone for the top bar on the top of the tank. And yeah, that's awkward because we needed to kill that tank. I've now got spotted and I've got to lose that spot because the enemy artillery is going to look to shoot us. So I was hoping I could just sneak round and get a side shot at this tank because it is a one shot. Finish him off and then have to deal with the enemy artillery. So that's the plan here. Trying to come round. I'm assuming he's going to push off friendly artillery. But this is where I wish I took my time more because I had lots of time left in this game, as you can see. And what I really need to do is avoid getting spotted. What's happened is I've got spotted, I've bounced a shot, I've managed to kill him with my second shot, but the enemy fun police just slaps a shot into me and kills me at the same time. So he was able to pick up the 8th kill, but besides, you know, actually friendly artillery goes on and does a really good attempt to try and win the 1v1. Unfortunately, this wasn't possible at the end because he ran out of time. But yeah, that is a shame because we go on to lose this game, and I definitely could have won this if I was a little bit more patient at the end. I probably would have got all of the artillery's hit points as well. But yeah, let's move on to the final scoreboards before we can say our goodbyes. Okay, so you can see, despite our effort there, we wasn't able to get the win, but we do finish off with Ace Tanker 8 kills, 5,500 damage. But yeah, we should have ended up with more at the end. But yeah, thank you so much for your support, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemies panic when they hear that quack. Grand Duck's here, there's no turning back. Legend